Hey, OkieTools here, and this is going to be my video of the unboxing of the, you really can't see it because of that tag, sorry, but the Brother knife, model 1601, it says 1601G, as you can see there. But this is going to be my unboxing video and some of my first thoughts on the knife. So I've been watching some of the YouTube videos I like to watch on knives, and I'd seen that one of the guys that I watch sometimes was doing a review of the Brother knife, model 1601, and I really liked the way it looked. It's a knockoff or a cheap clone of the Mannix knives from Spyderco, and I really like those knives, and I'll show you why here in a minute. But just you got me interested in it, so I had already done some business before with gearbest.com, and had got this knife from them, which is my current EDC knife. That is a Ganzo model G727M, which I've already done a video on. Check that out, and there's plenty of videos on YouTube about it. So I had already done business with them, and like I said in that video, as long as you're willing to wait for a while, because it takes a while for it to ship from, I think mine shipped from the Czech Republic, I can't remember, and it took a while to get it, but as long as you're willing to wait for it, I think I paid like $15 for this. That included shipping, so no big deal. They had it on special. I think it's normally like 21 bucks, but still 21 bucks is a real affordable knife. So I'd already done business with them and had experience with them, and went ahead and bought from them to go ahead and get it, and go ahead and unbox it. So it just comes in this dinky cardboard box, and it just has this plastic wrap over it, and there's nothing else that it came with. So it's just the knife itself. As you can see there, it is a you know, the same general lines, and you know, it's a copy of the Mannix knives from Spyderco, and you know, this is a beast of a knife, really. I'll put it in comparison to my EDC knife I carry every day from Ganzo, and you can really see a size different, and I actually brought that out to show that here momentarily when I'm kind of talking about it. But anyways, the thing that really drew me to this knife was the axis lock. I really do like axis lock knives, and I've always really liked the way that Spyderco does theirs. Sort of like a plastic switch or whatever to actually depress a spring to allow you to lock it and unlock it, versus say a pin the way that Benchmade does it, you know, cross pin or whatever. So it's real streamlined, and it's just a different way of doing it. It's an interesting way of doing it, and I've always really liked that. So you know, this knife was right up my alley. So just to go over some of the markings that are on it, it says 1601 for the model right there. This is a 440C blade, same as this knife right here, which is made by Ganzo, and a lot of people, a lot of internet chatter is saying that this was also made by Ganzo, so just something to think about there. It says Brother knife right there, and then it has their mantra on the back: one knife, one life. You know, I don't know what that's all about, but something interesting. Give you some specs on it now. Its closed length is right at 5 inches. Its closed width is like right at 2 inches. And its overall length is about 8 3/4 inches, and its blade length is about just over 3.5 inches, almost 3 3/4 inches. Blade width at its max is about 1.5 inches. So there's some. Oh, and its width overall is about 1/16 of an inch in width, and actually it's a little bit wider where the actual axis lock is, but not by much. So basically 6/16 of an inch. So to go over some of the features of the knife. You have your pocket clip right here, and I'll just go about my thoughts as we're going. You have your pocket clip right here. I wish that was a little bit deeper, maybe up here, but it's a good carry point. There's a lot of exposed here, but oh well. This is a flow-through design. I love that. It lightens it up and makes it real easy to clean. This is G10 right here, and it's not very coarse, but it still seems like it'd lock in. It's actually a nice cut to that, nice stippling to that, so I like that. You got a little bit of serrations on the switch for the axis lock that really do lock in. That actually does feel less like plastic and more like G10. It really does lock in. That's nice. So as per the usual with Spyderco knives, they have this great jimping right here at the top of the blade and down here in the choil, and I have always, you really lock in on that, and I've always really liked that from Spyderco. I have one of their bird knives, and I've always just loved the jimping, the way they do the jimping on it. And one thing I really do like about the Mannix knives is you actually get these waves back here that are cut into the steel liners, and those just really help you lock in. They really do, and I've always really liked that on the Mannix design. I do not know if it has phosphor bronze bushings. It may. It seems to be pretty well, but it may also, at that price point of only normal price $21, sell price $14, $15. At that price point, they may just be plastic washers. You never know. So the blade is a full flat grind, and that's that leafy Spyderco shape to it, and it's got the big thumb hole right there to engage on, and it works real well. So it's just like the Spyderco, and it works very well as their knife does. And just if you're interested, the blade centering is great. Goes really well in there. That's sometimes an issue with Asian made knives, not an issue with this knife. And this is pretty nice. There are some things about it that I can see, something back over in here that just some workmanship things that are to be expected. Maybe some machining marks on the inside there and everything. Just some workman things that are to be expected for a real, budget knife. The Mannix knives from Spyderco sell for hundreds of dollars, and this was basically a $15 knife to me. And there's going to be this rough edge right there. There's going to be some rough things about it from being made at that price point that are to be expected. But if you've seen my video on this knife right here, I do like a good knife. I will pay good money for a good knife, but I don't like knives that I spend a lot of money for to come up lost or damaged in my line of work. So, which is something that can happen. And I feel a lot better having a knife in my pocket that works real well and is set up like a very nice, expensive knife, but didn't cost me that kind of money. And for me, that's where these budget kind of knives fit in at. Real affordable, so if something happens to them, it's not a great loss. Whereas I'd just be absolutely sick if I had spent like $150, $200 on the knife and something happened to it. And in my personal opinion, I know myself well enough that if I spent that kind of money on a knife, I would never carry it. It would just sit and develop dust at the house, and that's not what they're there for. They're supposed to be used. So in that vein, this knife to me was more of a purchase because I kind of liked the way it looked and the price point from maybe other uses. I don't really know if I'd carry it as much. As you can see here, it is substantially larger than this knife. That being said, I have carried tank knives before, My Cryo 2 is an example. I carried that for like a year before I got this one, and you know, no big deal there. A trimmer from you know, Kershaw Knives. I love that knife. Big O knife, big O blade on it, lots of weight, and it was no big deal. So you never know. I may turn this into the rotation, and this may take over. I am going to carry it a little and give it a chance, just because, you know, it's a new knife, and I want to carry it, try it out, and everything. And I'll probably do an update video if I am going to carry it, and you know, or have it on person, maybe keep it in my truck, or you know, if it's, you know, if I deem it a little bit too big for me to carry on a regular basis, can have it in my truck, you know, truck knife, something like that. If I am going to do that, I'm glad it didn't cost me a whole hell of a lot of money, but still has a lot of cool features to it, and I'm really happy with the purchase so far. Only time will tell. Carrying it, had some wonderings about this, or misgivings on certain you know, occasions with this knife. No issues in the several months that I've been carrying it. And if it is true that Ganzo also makes these, I know that it's going to be a great product, just like this, just like my other one that I have from them. And either way, I love a good axis lock knife, and I love the setup from Spyderco. You know, people knock them off for a reason. They're some great knives. They're greatly, you know, well set up, well made, well thought out, and you know, when, you know, it's almost sort of a flattering. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So something to think about there if you're having a little bit of issues carrying a knockoff. So this was my video doing an unboxing of the Brother Model 1601 knife, a knockoff of the Spyderco Manix knives. Thanks for watching.